Madalena and Cecilia are not only cousins, they are best friends. The girls have lived their entire lives in a rural village in Budi County, a beautiful mountainous region of South Sudan. Living close to the equator, they do not need houses that protect them from snow or freezing weather. They live all year in round houses that their parents have made with sticks and mud. Special reeds, woven together, make up a thatched roof to keep out the rain during the rainy season. Like most countries of Africa, South Sudan has many different ethnic groups or tribes living in the country. Madalena and Cecilia belong to a tribe called the Didinga. Life has not always been safe or secure for Madalena and Cecilia. When they were born, their country was in a state of civil war. However, a few years ago, peace was established, and in the year 2011, South Sudan became the world's newest country. Now that the war is over, the next biggest thing that the children and their families have to worry about is cattle raiders. The Didinga have a long tradition of raising cows and other animals. Sometimes, people from other tribes will come into their territory and steal their cows by force. These thieves are very dangerous and can cause a lot of fear, especially for the children. Thankfully, the raids usually take place some distance from the village. Most of the time, the girls don't wander very far away from home. Even when they go off to fetch firewood for their mothers, they don't go very far. In many countries in Africa, the task of collecting firewood is something that is usually done by young girls. People living out in the rural villages in South Sudan usually do not have electricity or gas stoves, and so the only way to cook food is over a wood fire. It is kind of like being on a campout all of the time. Every day, children must go out and find a bundle of firewood to cook the evening meal. Once they have a good-sized bundle, they are ready to return back to their homes. Another task that is often the responsibility of young girls is collecting water for the family. Most villages in South Sudan do not have a water storage tank. People do not have water taps in their homes. In order to get water, children have to walk to a nearby river or stream. If it is the dry season, the rivers may be all dried up, and people will have to dig pits in the sand in order to get the water. Madalena and Cecilia used to have to walk a long way to find water. All of that changed when Adra helped their village get a borehole and installed a hand pump. Now, the girls only have to walk a short distance from their homes to pump water from the Adra well. Having the well so close to home means that they no longer have to worry about running into the cattle raiders when they go to collect water. The water that they get from the well is also a lot cleaner than the water that they used to find. Now, people living in their village don't get sick as often as they used to before the well was installed. Madalena and Cecilia do not know exactly how old they are. In their village, no one really pays close attention to the date that children are born. They think that maybe they are 10 or 11 years old. Even though the girls are quite young, they have already started to help their mothers out by doing many daily chores. Every day, the trees above her home drop twigs and leaves. Sweeping the ground around her house, Madalena does her part to keep the village clean and neat. Another way that Madalena helps her mother is by making flour. Because there is no flour mill in her village, Madalena uses a method that people used long before flour mills were ever invented. Grain is placed on a smooth stone and crushed into flour by grinding it with another stone. This takes a lot of work every day. Another method that the girls will sometimes use to make flour is smashing the grain with a large pounding pole. Placing the grain inside a long, carved-out wooden pot, Madalena and Cesilia take turns pounding the grain to make flour. Another task that usually falls to the responsibility of young girls is scaring birds away from the family gardens. When it comes close to harvest time, birds like to raid the village fields and gardens. Standing on a tall platform that rises up from their family fields, Madalena and Cesilia do their best to scare the birds away. Some afternoons, when they have some extra time, the girls will make bowls and drinking containers from calabash fruit. Calabash is a gourd-like fruit that grows on vines. Madalena and Cesilia cut the calabash in half, clean out the inside, and then take them to the well, where they fill them with water to let them cure for a few days. When they are ready, they will have excellent containers that they can use for drinking and eating, as well as many other purposes, all from local organic material. When it comes time to cook supper, Madalena is once again quick to help her mother. She first gets the fire going, using the firewood that she has collected earlier. Once the water is boiling, she adds the sorghum flour that she has ground and begins to stir. With all of the work that the girls do around the village, you might wonder if they have any time left to play. With all of the chores done, there is always time for some games with their friends. With no TV, computer games, or iPads, Madalena and her friends need to come up with their own entertainment. A favorite game that the children like to play is a kind of tag they call poi. Something very exciting has recently happened in the village where Madalena and Cesilia live. Adra has built a school. Before the school was built, if the children in the village wanted to learn, they had to do it under a tree. While that might sound like a lot of fun, it can sometimes be hard to focus on what the teacher is saying, especially when the wind blows or it rains. Now that the school has been built, Madalena and Cecilia have the opportunity to go to a proper school with real desks, trained teachers, and a roof over their heads. Another way that ADRA is helping Madalena and Cecilia is through a program that helps their teachers learn how to be better teachers. In a program where ADRA Norway and the government of Norway is partnering with ADRA South Sudan and the government of South Sudan, teachers from many schools around the country come together in a teachers training program where they can learn new techniques to become better teachers. Because of this program, South Sudan is not only getting new school buildings, they are getting excellent teachers that will provide the children with a good quality education.
I really like going to school. I especially like mathematics and English. My goal for the future is to finish school and then go for more education so that I can one day be a teacher. As a teacher, I will not only be able to help children learn, I will be able to help my parents.
Madalena and Cecilia are very fortunate to have a school close to their village. Many children in South Sudan still do not have a school that they can go to. Even when a school is built close by, some parents don't understand the importance of sending their children to school, especially girls. Madalena's mother not only understands the importance of education, she has even bigger dreams for her daughter.
It is my desire for Madalena to go far with her studies. After she finishes here at the school that ADRA built in our village, I want her to go on to secondary school and then perhaps university one day to become a doctor. I have seen doctors working here in the Children's Hospital in Chickadoom and how they are able to help so many people. As I watched these nurses and doctors saving lives and providing such good services, I was impressed with the idea of how wonderful it would be for Madalena to also become a doctor one day and be able to serve like them.
Whether Madalena decides to become a teacher, doctor, or some other professional person, she will have the opportunity to do big things to help her parents, her village, and her new country grow and develop. Right now, South Sudan needs lots of educated professional people, and that is why ADRA Norway is helping by building schools for children like Madalena and Cecilia. With a good education, Madalena now has a new hope for a bright future in the new country of South Sudan.